I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. And I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, on this break I've been breaking down, I'm elaborating. I guess my heart and soul collaborating. It's agitating, we battle demons, we co-created. Since the day old mama procreated. How appropriated, they misappropriated. I was so dissociated till I met you, and I sensed it's something special at the age of 13. Twisted dreams, all my nightmares always playing with me. Of nights I would function until I was asleep, cause my passion needed action and I'm running on E. As it seems, I've been grinding OD. My teeth grinding OD, I'm hungry. Rumble tummy got me moving funny. My gloomy days is sunny. My focus is happiness now, it's not the money. Blessings overlap, demons take them from me. Rec gang, I'm still rapping, that's brotherhood. Limitless, push the limits, misunderstood. And all my cousins disappointed in me. I let them down and pick me up, I love the struggle in me. And shout out to the people that been checking on me. Therapeutic measures, Joel joined the session on me. Yeah, I wrote this project, yes, in less than a week. I mixed the songs while I cried as I listened to beats. Yeah, she recommended therapy, I agreed. My wins and losses, therapy is unique, and this is mine, ayy. So I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ayy, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, and I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ayy, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Calling out of work, I need a mental health day. I need a mental health day.
Well, good evening and praise the Lord, everybody. Yo, it's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan, Sr. I am privileged to pastor the City of Hope Community Church right here in the great city of Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm so excited that you all are tuned in and join in with us on today. We have a special conversation that we are going to have that I am so looking forward to. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to get your friends, your cousins, your homies. If you know any athletes, if you know any parents of athletes, I need you to get them on this live because it is going to bless their whole entire life. So I'm excited to come to you on today, and I am not by myself, but I got my friend, I got my homie. I about backup, y'all. You know when you about to go into a fight, you got to have the right backup. You just can't go into a fight willy-nilly with nobody that ain't gonna have your back. And y'all, I bought me a mental health thug with me. Boy, she's a gangster in the mental health industry. Y'all give it up for my friend and my sister, soon to be, I want to say Dr. Elect, Ashlyn Douthit.
Hey,
what's
Pastor.
going on, bud?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, don't let that voice and that face fool you. She is a thug for mental health reform. And so, look, we are so glad. We are so happy to be here today. We are excited to be able to come to you this impromptu. This is what I love about, and I'm going to call her Dr. Ashland out there. This is what I love about Ashland. She's down for whatever. So I could call and be like, yo, did you see what happened? We need to jump on and do a talk about it. She'd be like, what time? What's the talking points? I'm down. I'm ready. I'm with it. And so she's always down for the cause, and I'm excited. How you doing, Ashland?
I'm good. I'm good.
You do it? What's going on in your...
for our talk today?
Yes, absolutely. What's been going on in your world besides dissertations and all of those wonderful things?
Yeah, that's it. That's
life.
It. That just, trying to still be an encouraging ear, listening ear for clients that I work with. And that's between that and school. That's been keeping me busy.
That's enough right there. Hey, that is absolutely enough right there. Look, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. We got a great conversation we're going to have today. Before we get started, y'all let us know where y'all coming in from. Let us know where y'all listening from. Give us a shout out one time for the one time of what city or what state or where you are on today. Just go ahead and drop it below, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube. We want you to have the opportunity. We want you to have the opportunity to just go ahead and drop it in. We got Lady Tamika. Hi, Ashlyn. Look at her. That's what I'm talking about. We got Sister Christine. She's at Fort Bend. Why? Get it in, girl. You probably on that treadmill or that cycle machine. That's what I'm talking about. Look, I'm so glad. Thank you, Christine, for jumping on. Anybody else? Hello, Tamika. Thank you so very much for joining us. Oh, man, look. Who else? Where are you at? Where you coming from? Where you listening from? We so glad that you are on here on today. So very important. Christine says she's on the Stairmaster. I know that's right. Get it in. Mr. Kevin Jarrett, he's watching at the crib. That's what I'm talking about. Look, it's going to be a blessing. I need y'all to tag somebody, tell somebody that we are on today, and we're talking about a very, very important topic. It's going to be great information. As you already know, we are always raw, real, and relevant. We try to keep this thing practical, portable, and applicable. And so, hello, Miss Moore. So glad you could join us on today. We got Michelle Griever, who's in the house. Hey, COH. Hey, Ashlyn. We got Deanna Mezzer in the house. Hey, Miss Deanna. Where that grandbaby at? We know you love that grandbaby. Everybody, come on in. While you're coming in, let's do this as well, because we're going to talk about mental health. As a matter of fact, we'll have Ashlyn just talk to us a little bit about when you start talking about mental health and emotional health. What is that, first of all? What is mental health? What is emotional health? Since we're talking about Mental Health Monday, what is that? Help us out. What is that?
Yeah. It's one of those things that we don't talk about often. There's still a lot of stigma surrounding our mental and emotional health, but it's essentially the same as our physical health. It's being in a mindset, being able to function mentally, emotionally, and physically, and kind of understanding how our physical health is not only important, but also our mental, emotional, and how all those things are tied together.
Amen. The same way we need to be healthy physically, we need to be healthy mentally, we need to be healthy emotionally. As Dr. Douthit said, it's all tied together. And so that's why it's so very important for us to be able to focus on that. Before we jump into this content, let's do a little something. Let's do a mental health check-in. Where are you today? Come on, where are you today? If you look at this list right here, and if we start talking about a mental health check-in, tell us where you are today. Are you number one? Are you feeling great? Are you number two? Are you doing okay? Are you number three? Are you starting to struggle? Are you number four? You're having a hard time. Are you number five? You need to reach out for support. If you're able, just drop your number in the chat, please. Drop your number in the chat, please, wherever you are on today. We got Taylor Braden. She says she's number two. She's doing okay. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. We got Janae Cottrell. She says she's need to reach out for support. This is for you. This is for everybody, but please hang on. Please hang on. Don't you go nowhere. Isn't unregulated emotional health often misconstrued as behavior issues, especially in children? Dr. Doubtful, that's a question for you to take. Isn't unregulated emotional health often misconstrued as behavior issues, especially in children? What say you, Dr. Doubtful?
It definitely can be. Like you mentioned with kids, kids are learning just like adults are. So it's having to understand that they may not have the vocabulary or the understanding yet to be able to communicate how they're feeling or what their emotional states are. So it may manifest as behavioral issues. So that is something to pay attention to and kind of look out for, but also kind of helping kids to learn those emotional words, that language that they can get to a point where they can express themselves.
Hey man, I told y'all she's the bomb.com. Told y'all I got my hitter with me. She's a thug for mental health. I told y'all she got it. Okay, so she was a 5. Miss Connie says she's a 2. She's doing okay. Miss Moore says she's a 4. She's having a hard time. Deanna says she's 4. She's having a hard time. Look, I'm so glad y'all in. Please stay connected and tune in. This is going to bless y'all today. Number 1, Arnetta says she's number 1. She's feeling great. That's because she's coming off her birthday high. Patrice Jackson, 3, starting to struggle. Kevin is a 1, doing great. Michelle is a 4 to 5. Absolutely. Brother Andre said he is at 3. I'm starting to struggle. Christy said 2.5, between doing okay and starting to struggle. Miss Wheeler, 2. She's doing okay. Come on. Erica, 3, starting to struggle. Come on. Dr. Dre says she's 1. She is feeling great. We see that there are a range of individuals, emotions, people are going through a lot of different things on today. Seasons, we know that we're coming close to the holidays. We know that it's getting colder. We know that life has happened to many of us. Some of you, I'm reading your numbers, and I know some of your struggles, some of the things you've been dealing with, and now you're still trying to process and digest what's going on. Look, it's our intention today. We're going to talk about a particular topic, but it's our intention that you're able to extract nuggets of truth and wisdom that you can apply to your own life. And don't let the primary focus of the lesson deter you, because we're going to go into the realm of dealing with some athletes and some athletics, but the principles will be applicable to you. I promise you. I promise you they will be applicable to you. And so hang on and hold on. We want to help you. We want to assist you. And even afterwards, we want to give you an opportunity to connect with some one-on-one if you need to go a little bit deeper in your struggle. So I called Ashlyn this morning. Every single Monday morning, we do what we call Let's Get Ready to Monday. If you haven't tuned in to that, y'all, we do it every Monday morning, 7 a.m. It's the Monday morning prayer conference call that's strategically designed to get your faith fit for the fight. And so I come loud, I come with it, I come happy, I come excited, enthusiastic on Monday morning. And y'all, just the Spirit of God really moved this Monday. And there's a subject matter that we need to go a little bit deeper in and talk about. And I promise you it's going to help you. Tag somebody in this post. If you got questions, ask them. We'll get to them. Let somebody know that we're dealing with some mental and emotional health things that will be a blessing to you. I want to play this clip that's going to kind of lay the foundation of why we're here today and what kind of jumped this entire thing off. Check this out. We'll be right back.
Star was making headlines with an announcement yesterday. Receiver Calvin Ridley says that he is stepping away from football so he can focus on his mental health. Just before kickoff yesterday, it was announced that Ridley would not be playing due to what was being called a personal matter. Now, hours later, in a tweet, he wrote that the past few weeks have been challenging, and as much as he wants to be on the field with his teammates, he needs to focus on his mental well-being. He also said this decision will help him become the best version of himself now and in the future. You know, the story hits so close to home. I have a brother who was involuntarily retired from football because of mental health, and I just feel like if this was an option for players back when he was playing to come out, it's such a brave move.
No doubt.
And I think that this is really important as the NFL moves forward.
And sometimes we have to remember these are very young men. He's 26, young men under a public microscope with a lot of pressure, a lot of outside influences, and I can't walk in those shoes.
There's so much going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and we think about them as just football players, but they are so much more than that. They're, you know, more than our Sunday afternoon entertainment. And so we're really proud of him, and we support him for taking this stance.
Absolutely.
All right.
Big deal.
Thank you, Madison.
All right, so that was a story about Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. He's their number one receiver, slated to have a huge season, and it was announced yesterday that he's stepping away from the game of football, that he has some mental health things that he needed to take care of. This was best for him, for his family. This is what he needed to do. Why am I passionate about this? Because I am not only am I a pastor, the senior pastor of the City of Hope Community Church, but I'm also a 3-time state championship chaplain that I've had the opportunity to work with a local high school football team here. Shout out Warren Central, Dub C. Had a wonderful opportunity to come alongside this program of these young men for the last 13 years. And I've also had an opportunity to do a little NBA work, working with the Indiana Pacers. And so as a chaplain, I have seen firsthand the struggles that athletes and individuals go through. Calvin Ridley came out and said, look, I'm stepping away from football. This is a man who's making millions of dollars. This is an individual who has this platform. Everybody doesn't make it to the NFL. He makes it, but what makes him want to step away? So I got to thinking, and as I began to look, I began to notice a pattern that it's not just Calvin Ridley. If you look at the bottom of our screen, you got Andrew Luck. That Andrew Luck was the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And when they announced that he was retiring, I'll never forget, it was in the middle of an Indianapolis Colts game. The stadium started booing because he said he was retiring. He was not retiring because of injury. He was retiring because of mental health. He said that he had been in a very dark place, in a very dark space, and he needed to walk away from football. Not just Andrew Luck, Sha'Carri Richardson. She didn't walk away from track, but she found out that her mother passed away in the middle of a track meet. She was not able to go to the Olympics because she had her own method, her own way of dealing and processing the pain that she was experiencing. Not just Sha'Carri, but Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast of all time, this summer walked away from the Olympics because of her mental and emotional health. This guy down here in the corner, the gentleman with the beard, Johnny Lane, who also was a player for the Philadelphia Eagles, who walked away for 3 games this year, talked about depression, he talked about fear, he talked about his mental health. And then you got Naomi, is it Osaka? Osaka, the tennis player who told y'all could have it. She was through at a couple of matches. She mentioned also her mental and her emotional health. So, Dr. Douthit, we see these athletes, these individuals who are walking away from millions of dollars, who are walking away from platforms and fame and opportunities that are presented before them, and they're doing it for the sake of their mental health. So this is so very important. And I want to talk about this, and I want to dive into this, and I want you to help me. One thing that I said earlier is that oftentimes there is a pressure to perform publicly while you're processing problems privately. I'll say that again, that there's a pressure to perform publicly while you're processing your own problems privately. I want you to speak to that. And in particularly, when I think about Andrew Luck, when I tell you I was heated, not at the fact that he was retiring, but people were more concerned about his ability to throw a football than they were his mental and emotional health. People would have rather seen him stay in the dark places, in the dark spaces that he had mentioned, because he was a phenomenal quarterback. They would rather see this man struggle privately so that he can perform publicly. Can we talk a little bit about that when you start talking about pressures and problems that people deal with privately, but how people really don't care because they just want to see what you can do publicly? Can you help us out, Dr. D?
Yeah. With mental health, it's an invisible struggle that people are dealing with. So to the public, you look fine.
Yeah.
While you may be going through the toughest time of your life, but because there isn't that tangible, visible thing that somebody can see, like a broken bone or something like that, it feels less real for people. It doesn't seem as important, and it doesn't seem like a valid reason to need time to step away, or even something that could impact you to that level. And then to be in a situation as a professional athlete, or even just in general, working any type of job, not being able to have that tangible thing to let somebody else see, like, oh yeah, they are struggling. Okay, I can see why they might need some PTO. It doesn't seem as significant, so people look at it as it's something you should just be able to push through and deal with.
Yeah. And you just hit the nail on the head. That's what we said. It's not just athletes. But when you start talking about, just go back over these numbers. You know, Erica said she was a 2.5. She was a 3. Christian said she was a 2.5. You got Andre said he was a 3. You got Michelle says she was a 4.5. Patrice said she was a 3. You got these individuals on here. We got a 4. We got another 4. We got a 5. So if these individuals need to reach out, if they're struggling, if they're having a hard time as it relates to whatever's taking place in their life, they're still working. They still have other obligations. They still got family. And so here they are with their own internal struggles, their own internal dilemmas, yet and still trying to navigate and meet the expectations of other people. So I mean, can we just talk a little bit about that? How other people, I think I said earlier that oftentimes we are imprisoned by the expectations of other people.
Mm-hmm.
That here we are dealing with problems and issues and challenges, but here we got all of these expectations from family, from friends, from employers to perform. Once again, people want us to perform when in essence we feel like we're dying on the inside. How do we navigate through that to where everybody has an expectation and they want to pull from us, but we're running on E, we're empty, we're depleted, and we're suffering ourselves?
Yeah. We are such a achievement-based society.
Yep.
So we really kind of focus on achievement, productivity. You know, what can you do? What can you produce for this company, for this person, for this relationship, whatever the case may be. And it's sometimes having to look at, you know, are these expectations realistic? So while my job may want me to pick up an extra shift, is that something realistically that I can do emotionally? And we can sometimes feel caught or like trapped in these situations of like, I have to say yes, or I have to keep pushing through even if I know that I can't, because there may be some negative consequence associated with it. Maybe that's my job might be upset with me, or there may be a coworker that's upset with me, but it's having to kind of look at, is this something realistic for me to be able to manage and to achieve? Because when we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, we're never going to be able to reach them. So that in itself is going to be frustrating. And then it's going to be even more frustrating when you keep trying and can't meet it. So then it becomes something that you can then internalize. It's like, okay, well, what's wrong with me that I can't meet this expectation, versus what's wrong with this expectation that I have set for myself, or that others have maybe set for me.
No, say that again now. Say that. No, stop. Say that again. Say that again, because that's important.
Yes, it's having to reframe how we look at things. Instead of it being what's wrong with me that I can't meet this expectation, it's more so looking at it as what's wrong with this expectation that maybe is set, that I've set for myself, or that somebody else has set for me.
What, instead of saying what's wrong with me, what's wrong with the expectation?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because y'all, we put expectations on ourselves. I think that we get caught up in this rat race, or we get caught up in wanting to perform, that we set these high expectations, and then everything evolves around the success of meeting that expectations, meeting their expectations, reaching this goal. And in the process, you are tearing yourself down. You are pulling yourself apart in the process of trying to meet these other expectations. I think it was Paul who said, I've learned to be content in whatever state I am. I don't think there's nothing wrong with setting goals. There's nothing wrong with having desires and aspirations. But I guess, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. D, I guess the question becomes why, right? I guess the question becomes, why is it that you want what you want? Why is it that you're going after what you're going after? And what are you sacrificing in the process? What are you giving up? Or here it is, at what cost? If this is what you want, that's good. But what is it going to cost you? And I think a lot of times, because of the pressure we go through, and because of the expectation, a lot of times it costs us our mental and our emotional health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Definitely.
And anything that costs you your mental and emotional health, guess what? It costs too much.
Right. There you go.
If it or they cost you your mental and emotional health, it costs too much. You have to learn how to protect your peace. You got to learn how to protect. I say this. I always say, choose you before you lose you. You got to choose you before you lose you. A lot of times we choose the expectations of other people. We choose the expectations of our boss. We choose the expectations of our children. We choose the expectations of our family. We choose the expectations of our friend. We choose the expectations of everybody else, but we don't want to choose ourselves, because we have been taught that you just need to sacrifice and put yourself last and put yourself on the back burner. The devil is a liar. There's a reason when you get on the airplane, they say, in case of loss of cabin pressure, secure your mask first, right? Because you cannot be beneficial to anybody else if you are not first beneficial to yourself. And so a lot of times, y'all, you got to get to the place and the point to where you choose you before you lose you. And I know your boss wants you to take on an extra project. And I know your family wants you to do X, Y, and Z. And I know your children want you to run them there, and you got to go to the store, and you got to get the stuff for their project, and you got to take them to football practice and ballet practice. And I know your family wants to do, and some of you are single and you're doing this by yourself. But this is the thing. Choose you before you lose you. Because if you dead, you won't be helpful or beneficial to anybody. Come on. What you got to say, Dr. D?
Yeah, just with thinking about those expectations, like you said, that why is important. Like, what's motivating those things, what's fueling those things, especially when it comes to work. Having to kind of look at it is like some of the expectations that a work culture may have may not always be healthy or realistic. So it's having to kind of look at those things, because I know people have some things that they have to work within at their different jobs, or the different environments that they're in, but they can't change.
Right.
So it's having to look at the areas that they do have some influence and control over, and kind of saying, how do I make this work for me?
Yeah.
So I can give myself as an example. I work Monday through Friday, but I've set my schedule in a way that works for me. I'm going to work late 2 nights a week. Other 2 nights, I'm not working late. So kind of having to look at those things for other people as well. It's like, how do I make this work? Are there things that I'm where I'm sacrificing myself, where I don't need to? Because being of service is good, but if it's service in the detriment to your own well-being, that's where the problem comes in.
Come on now. Yes. And for so many of us, what we do is detrimental and is not instrumental. And I don't know if some of it is trying to fill a hole, if it's trying to fill a hole that needs to be healed, whatever it is, what you're doing is detrimental and it is not instrumental. That's what Moses' father-in-law said to him when he was out there judging the people and doing all of this. So he said, what you're doing is not good. Now, I know you're trying to solve the problems. I know you're trying to solve the issues, and that's good in and of itself. But the way you're going about it is not good. There are a lot of good things that you are doing, but you got to understand the way you are going about it is not good. Because if it's detrimental, if it costs you your mental and emotional health, it's too expensive. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. It's too expensive. Put it back. You know how it was when you used to go to the store and you wanted to get something, you pick them up, and your mama said, you can't get that, boy. It costs too much. We can't afford that. You cannot afford it. Some of the tasks you're taking on, some of the extra load you are taking on, you cannot afford it. Look, this is so very important. About 2-3 weeks ago, I went to 8 funerals in the course of 3 weeks. I went to 8 funerals in the course of 3 weeks. 2 young men, 20 years old, shot and killed, murdered. One of them was a baby. It was 8 funerals in 3 weeks, and I preached 4 of them. Dr. D, it got to the point to where I went to one of them, and I went to the funeral, and I wasn't on program to do nothing. I was just going to support. Mm-hmm. And I sat in the audience. And the soloist started singing, I Shall Wear a Crown. I shall wear a crown. And she was killing it. She was jamming. And in that moment, all of this grief, all of this heartache, all of this taking on the burdens of other people, all of this stuff, it just came to a head. And I just sat there, and tears just coming down my eyes, weeping. And even in that moment, this is what's crazy. In that moment, the pastor comes out the pulpit and comes and finds me and say, hey, Brother Pastor, we would love for you to join us inside the pulpit. And everything within me wanted to say, no, I've had enough. I'm tired. I'm on overload. But, and I did. I joined them and I helped facilitate some stuff. But just even recognizing myself that it gets to a point to where you're on overload. It gets to a point to where you've taken on so much that you don't feel as if you can go another further. You don't feel as if you can function, or you're so overwhelmed with grief or pain or heartache or headache that you're trying to figure out, how do I navigate through this? How do I navigate through this? Christianity says other people think that your issues are that big of a deal, but our perception is our reality. Absolutely. Then she comes back and says, I finally got a diagnosis thinking I was off or postpartum. LOL, it was ADHD. Now it's a matter of learning how to focus my expectations and to organize my thoughts. It gets so frustrated. I think this is powerful. Thank you, first of all, for being transparent and sharing this, Christianity, That is absolutely awesome. Ashlyn, can you speak to the importance of, just looking at her comment, this is what I see. I see somebody that was struggling. And I see somebody who, number one, she could have ignored it. Number two, she could have tried to fix it on her own. Or number three, she could have went to go get professional help to figure out what is going on with me. And Christian decided to go get professional help to figure out what was going on with her. Can you speak a little bit about those three choices that a lot of us are struggling? A lot of us, we can't pinpoint it. Christian said she was off. She didn't know if it was postpartum. She didn't know what it was. She just knew it was off. And we're talking to people that something is off, that is off. They may not be able to pinpoint it. They haven't diagnosed it. They can't put a finger on it. And they just tried to cry and wipe the tears and keep pushing. But something is off in the midst of their life. And when something is off, talk to us, Ashley. They got one of three choices. Either they can ignore it. Well, number one. Number two, they can try to deal with it on their own. Or number three, they can seek some professional help, guidance, and assistance to help them navigate through. Can you kind of speak to a little bit of that for us, please?
Yeah, it's one thing that I do want to mention is kind of reading her post made me think of something I saw on Instagram a while ago, and it said something like Black women sometimes struggle with depression, but don't realize it and assume that they're failing. But I think that can be applied to mental health across the board for people, is that we as a society have this idea of how we expect people to be and how they should function. And when people don't fit in that mode or meet that standard, we assume that it's a deficit in that person versus maybe this person is struggling with something and they need some support, they need some assistance. So then it does get into those options, like you mentioned, where people maybe ignore it. Because there may be a sense of around saying, hey, I'm struggling, or not even knowing that what they're struggling with is something that they could receive support around. Then they can try to deal with it on their own. Again, back to that shame, maybe not even having access to be able to talk to somebody or get some additional support. And then that third option of being able to say, you know what, this has been going on for a while. It's not gotten better. I've tried to figure it out myself. Like, I need to have some additional guidance and some support around this.
Man, I think that's so very important. And while you were talking, I started thinking about how oftentimes do we ignore physical ailments? That it could be a pain in our body and we'll ignore it. It could be a pain in our chest. And what do we say? Oh, that's just heartburn. That's just indigestion. I was just eating a lot of food. I'm going to take some Tums, and that's how I deal with it. And we do that not knowing it's a heart attack that's happening. But we ignore it. We ignore signs and symptoms of various things that's taking place in our body. And then come to find out it's something that is severe, but because we ignored it or because we wanted to, I'm going to just take some Tussin. I'm going to just take some Robitussin and take me a nap. And we do that. We'll take the Robitussin, take a nap, and we wake up dead. Look, for real. No, we don't wake up. Of course, I'm being funny. But no, we don't wake up because it was something that we ignored. Right. It was something that we ignored. It was something that we tried to go to WebMD ourselves. Come on. Y'all ain't been to man doctor class, but y'all looking up stomach pain or foot pain and trying to self-diagnose yourself. And it's something. So if you can understand that physically with our physical bodies, I need you to understand this mentally, and I need you to understand this emotionally. When something is off, when you're having these thoughts, when there's fear, when there's anxiety is through the roof, when you are overwhelmed, when you can't put your finger on it, but you know something is off, y'all, that is the opportunity for you to reach out to get some help and to get some assistance. You can't ignore this sign. You can't ignore the sign.
It makes me think about Simone Biles from when she
Yes.
had her run through the Olympics this year, and as everybody knows, that she pulled out one of the events for her mental health. And people just went in on her, talked about how much of a letdown she was to the team and to the country, and she's supposed to be this huge leader, and how problematic that was, and just like selfish that she just pulled out of the Olympics. She really came back out to say, like, number one, her aunt died while she was in Tokyo, and then two, she was saying how she was, doing the warm-ups and things throughout the week. I think it was the vault. And she was saying at one point she remembers doing the vault and she didn't know where she was. And just thinking about how much of a risk and a safety issue that is. So understanding that, like, that mental, emotional piece is connected to the physical health. Like, to be such a dangerous sport, to be kind of struggling with mental health issues and still trying to push through. Had she done that, that could have seriously injured her. To be doing the types of stunts and tricks that she does at the intensity that they are, to keep trying to ignore what her body was telling her, where she was mentally and emotionally, really could have had some like long lasting, devastating effects.
And all of the people who booed her and who were mad at her and who talked crazy, if something happened to her, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't support. They're not paying a hospital bill. They're not sending flowers. They're not coming to see her, because people only care about your ability to perform. That's it. What can you do for me? How can you perform? And they don't care about the personal problems you go through. And you are absolutely right, y'all. This is why it's so important. You have to stop putting so much stock into the opinions of other people. Stop caring about the opinions of other people. And I heard you say earlier that sometimes you got jobs, you got requirements, you got stuff you got to do. And control what you can control. Control what you can control. But stop worrying about the opinions of other people. They gonna think this. Who cares? Let them think it. They gonna say this. Who cares? Let them say it. Choose you before you lose you. It's about your health. And I'm so glad she left. Whenever anybody leave, look, I get happy. I get excited. When Andrew Luck left, I preached a whole sermon about it. And I applauded him. When Sha'Carri did her thing, I preached a whole sermon about it. Come on. Calvin Ridley, I did my whole morning devotion about it, because just understanding the importance of being, you talking to somebody that's been in the dark place. You talking to somebody who has been in a dark space. You talking to somebody who has struggled mentally and emotionally. Look, boy, this pandemic done did a number on a lot of people. Come on. And I've told people, I said it, I think it was New Year's, I did this open apology letter. Look, I apologize if I've dropped the ball. I haven't dotted my I's. I haven't crossed my T's. Some things have fallen through the cracks. Some processes, some systems throughout this whole pandemic, we ain't got it. We ain't had it together. I openly apologize, and I apologize now. But the reality is, look, and I love y'all with the love of the Lord, but I'm going to choose my mental health. Y'all done got some replays on some Sundays. Some of them y'all didn't even know they was replays, because I was not in a position. Come on. I wasn't in a position. I'm going to choose me before I lose me. There have been Wednesday night spiritual formation masterclasses where y'all got that text. We're not having it tonight. Did a funeral. I'm on E. I have nothing else to pour out. I am going to choose me before I lose me. This is what you got to understand. How can I say this with grace? I ain't gonna say I don't care about y'all's opinion, but I don't. This is what you gotta understand. I ain't trying to build a name for myself. I ain't looking for no platform. I ain't trying to get on nobody's stage. I love the people God has blessed me with. I'm gonna serve the people God has given me, but I'm going to lead by example. And I'm going to show you the way. And there are times, y'all, where look, if you ain't got it, you just ain't got it. If it ain't in you, it just ain't in you. It's okay. I'm not trying to keep up with a certain image. I'm not trying to be like nobody in this city or in this country. I'm not trying to look at them and then look at us and try to model my stuff. No, I could care less because I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know what my mission is. I know what the mandate is. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know when I've had enough. There's times when I push. There's times when I pull back. There's times where I'm 100 all gas, no brakes. There's times where I'm slamming on the brakes. There's times where I can go into overtime. There's times I'm not even going to suit up for the game. And you have to understand the importance of knowing who you are and where you are. And you don't have to try to do things to impress other people. Stop being concerned about the opinions of other people. The Saki, she could care less about the opinions of other people. Y'all can have this tennis match. I'm out of here. The player from Philly, he said, man, give me 3 games. I'm gone. I need to shut it down. Calvin Ridley, y'all can have it this season. Look, I'm gone because you have to understand the importance of choosing you before we lose you. Come on, we got a lot of comments. Let me jump into these comments one time for the one time. Come on. I always said that I wanted to be like my grandmother, that family matriarch, taking care of everyone and all of their issues. What I learned is that there was a lot of self-sacrifice with no return, which costed her health by way of stroke. Let me see. Heart attack and several other illnesses before she left this earth. Lessons learned: you cannot be everything to everyone. Shanika, girl, you better talk. She said you cannot be everything to everyone. I'm gonna say it like, well, I love the way she said, you cannot be everything to everyone. Did y'all hear what Shanika said? Come on. I say it like this: every task is not yours to tackle. Come on. And I know you misfix it. And I know you miss to fix it. And I know you want to fix everything for everybody. Every task is not yours to tackle. And you cannot be everything to everyone. That's Jesus' job. Y'all need to say that. Somebody drop that in the chat. Y'all need to start telling people, oh, that's Jesus' job. Can you do this? No, that's Jesus' job. Can you fix it? No, that's Jesus' job. Can you heal it? No, that's Jesus' job. Can you take? No, that's Jesus' job. Because I'm not omniscient, I'm not omnipotent, and I'm not omnipresent. That's Jesus' job. Come on, Ashley, tell somebody that's Jesus' job.
Yes, it makes me think of a conversation I had with somebody before. One of the things that they had mentioned to that, especially when it comes to from a spiritual perspective, they had said something along the lines of, nobody appointed you to be Holy Spirit Junior.
Come on now. I know that's right.
I love that, but it's just kind of a reminder, because we can be in all these different roles. You can be a spouse, you're a parent, you're an athlete, you're a pastor, but it's having to remember at the end of the day, you're still human.
Still human.
You still have things that you go through. And being in those roles or having those titles doesn't mean that you're no longer human, that you're not going to deal with things. So it's having to know, like, yeah, you have to take time for yourself too, despite the roles and the expectations that you have or that others have for you.
Yeah. And I think that's so very important. And I think for so long, it's been drilled into our head that if you want to succeed, go above and beyond and do all you can. And you got to sacrifice. You got to grind. You got to grind. I'm so sick of that word. You got to grind. And this is the thing. You do. The reality is you do, but to what extent? But to what extent? When it comes to the point to where your grind is costing you, come on, you got to stop grinding. You got to start minding your own mental health. And I think for so long we have been taught, even with Jesus, Jesus sacrificed his life. You got to sacrifice. Let me show y'all something. Jesus sacrificed. Check this out. Matthew 14:30. When Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by Pope privately to a solitary place. Do you know what happened in this scripture? Jesus just got word that John the Baptist was beheaded. He was beheaded. Jesus says, you know what? I'm going to chuck up these deuces. I'm about to get on this boat. I don't know if it was a yacht. I don't know if it was a cruise boat. I don't know what it was, but it said he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Jesus says, I'm Jesus. Come on. I got all power in heaven and earth. But after what I just heard, y'all know what? I need a timeout. I'm trying to process and digest what just happened. So I'm going to withdraw. I'm going over here to this solitary place where I can chill and get my mind together. Do you understand how powerful that is? That Jesus himself, who could heal the sick and raise the dead and feed the 5,000, Jesus himself said, you know what? I need a break. This too much. No, the trauma, the pressure. My cousin just got killed. But they just murdered my cousin, man. I can't. I needed to. Look. I'm gonna get on this boat. I'm gonna get in this water, and I need to withdraw. And I think it's so important because we think Jesus and sacrifice and do everything for everybody. The devil is a liar. Jesus, in dealing with this trauma, said, you know what? I'm jumping on this boat. I'm getting in this water, and I'm chucking up the deuces for a minute. I need to withdraw because I'm trying to process and digest what just happened. And y'all, if Jesus could do that, come on. All y'all, what you call them, Holy Spirit Juniors, all y'all Holy Spirit Juniors and Juniorettes, come on. Y'all need to understand the importance of the pause. Y'all need to understand the importance of withdrawing. And this is what I love about it. Andrew Luck, he withdrew. He said, oh, it's too much right now. It's costing me too much. I need to withdraw. Sha'Carri, she withdrew to a solitary place and she rolled a blunt, but still. Calvin Ridley, he withdrew. Simone Biles, she withdrew. John Lane, he withdrew. Osaki, I keep tearing up her name. All of these individuals, look, they understood the importance of stepping away, the importance of withdrawing. And the question becomes, do you understand the importance of stepping away? Do you understand the importance of needing to withdraw? Ashland, I said on the call this morning, I said, what does that look like? It might look like if you're at work or if you're having a moment, I need to withdraw for 5 to 10 minutes. That I need to go to the restroom, I need to pray, I need to go outside for some air. Maybe you need to withdraw. Maybe you need to step away for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe you need to step away for 30 minutes or an hour. Boss, look, it's a rough day. Can I have an extra half an hour on my lunch break? Because I just need this moment, right? Maybe you need to step away for half a day. I'm going in late or I'm leaving early because I understand the importance of stepping away during this season of my life and I need this time. Maybe it's maybe you need to take the day off. I don't know what that looks like for you, but you got to withdraw. Look, I said this on the call this morning too. My children, my daughter's 12, my son is 15. Do y'all know that I give them mental health days from school? That's right. My 12 and 15-year-old, they get mental health day. You don't feel like going to school today? All right, what's going on? Just ain't feeling it? All right, cool. We gonna call. You ain't got to go. Ashley, I know people probably look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy when CNN says that mental health for teenagers is through the roof. I'm not crazy after working in high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, doing a funeral of a 10-year girl who killed herself, seeing all of the things, the pressures, the problems, the issues, the challenges that these young people go through. I'm not crazy. If you need to stay home for a day, mentally and emotionally, to process and to get your stuff together, you can stay home. That day ain't gonna make you. That day ain't gonna break you. I don't care nothing about no perfect attendance. If you need to get your mental health together, you can stay home. My children know, hey, it's a done deal. You get mental health day. You can stay. And this is not, well, since you're staying home, you better clean up the kitchen. Make sure you clean up. Make sure you go out there and mow the lawn. No. This is a mental health day. What you need to do? You want to go to the movies? What we doing? We eating? We binge watching Netflix? What we doing? You just want to chill? You want to play the game? What we need to do? You got to do what you got to do. My daughter Zion, and I want you to talk. I want you to jump in because I'm talking too much. My daughter Zion, straight A student, y'all. When the pandemic hit, she started begging us for. She wanted a rabbit. She wanted a bunny. She wanted a rabbit. She started asking for this rabbit. I'm like, why does she? I get straight A. She started writing essays. I think I should have a rabbit because I got straight A. She started doing research on rabbits. She put a financial plan together on rabbits. She did all of this stuff. And what I come to realize was, because we were shut in, so wasn't nobody coming in. She didn't have the interaction. She wanted it for her mental and emotional health. You want a bunny? Okay. I don't do pets, but you know what? And you straight A and all of this. If this is going to help you mentally and emotionally, come on. We're going to get you this bunny. Because I think it's important of realizing and recognizing, even in our children, that they go through things and they deal with things. And we got to make sure that we are posturing them in a position, and we're teaching them now. I say all the time, we want to raise kids that are prepared and don't have to be repaired. That I want to make sure my kids are prepared and don't have to be repaired from the trauma that we throw on them. They got enough trauma with the world. I don't want to put extra trauma on them.
Right.
And so just keeping those lines open and talking and all that type of stuff. All right, jump in, Dr. Daphne, because I'm just taking.
No, you're good. You're good. I love that, but I think that's really important for other people to hear you say that, to know like mental health days are real and you should take them. Like kids can also take them. Because even I think if we think about it, pre-COVID, how many of us at some point probably went to work sick or sent kids to school sick? Like, all right, here's some tissue, take some Robitussin, and get on the bus. We just kind of have this culture in our society where it's like, it's not that bad. Unless you need to be hospitalized, you can still go to work. You can still go to school. So it's having to get out of that mindset of like, okay, if you don't feel well, it's okay to rest. It's okay to take a minute to yourself, whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically. You need that time. And just figuring out for yourself, how do I take care of me right now?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have it. It's so very important. Christy Ball says, was told I was weak or didn't care. And that's part of that mindset. Oh, you weak. You don't care. You know what?
We got to talk about that one day too, Pastor.
Yeah. You talking about that right there?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Jump in it.
No, just like the cultural aspect that can come with that, of just that idea of being weak, of like you should be able to push through and keep it moving. It's like, that's not okay. Like, taking care of yourself and being able to recognize when things are off is actually a sign of strength. Yeah. Because you need to know, like, okay, I'm at my limit. It's foolish to keep pushing past your limit when you know you're already there.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. It is foolish. That's foolishness to keep pushing past your limit when you know you're already there. And once again, this goes back to the expectations of others. So if they say I'm weak, if they say I didn't care, then if I value their expectations, which so many of you stop valuing other people's stuff, that's what we're going to do. We're going to push ourselves past the limit to where we burn out, to where we break down, to where we're no good because we're pushing ourselves past that limit. And what's amazing is, I was told I was weak, I didn't care. When you think about everybody that's down here, you think about all of these athletes. You're talking about athletes who are trained to push, who are trained to be mentally and physically tough and strong, who are trained to go above and beyond, to grind, to go above the limit, to go get it. And these individuals, and I know we talked about this before, because a lot of times physical strength and mental, all of that plays a part, right? So you're talking about some of the strongest, some of the most well-built mentally prepared and trained athletes, these individuals are breaking down. I even think that even when it comes to sports, there's this level of toughness and tenacity and fortitude that comes along, the stigma that comes along with it, that you don't have an opportunity to be vulnerable. You don't have an opportunity to say, I don't feel like it, or I'm not having a good day, because it's always perform, perform, perform. But you don't, and I think about that, and I even think about oftentimes single mothers, right? Or even single fathers, mostly single mothers, 78% young, children in single parent homes, predominantly women. They're always in fight mode. They're always in, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to get this. It's like not even having an opportunity or time. I don't even want to say to show weakness, but to be vulnerable or to break down. And so it is embedded in our mindset. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep going, no matter what's happening. And I think there's a time for that. But I also think if that's the only gear you live in, that it becomes unhealthy, like you said, because there's times where you do need to practice the pause. There's times where you do need to stop. There's times where you can't do it all. I think it was Karen White, that great prophetess Karen White, who began to tell him early in the morning, I put your breakfast on your table. And make sure that your coffee has the sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy. You're toasted like me. All that's missing is the morning kiss that used to greet me. Now you say the juice is sour. It used to be so sweet. But I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. We're just going through the motions and you don't even care. I've had my pride. I will not cry. And you still don't care. I jacked up the words. But she says, I'm not your superwoman. That's a little bit before your time, Ashley. You probably don't remember that.
I don't
She
think that
says,
was
I'm not your superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I'm only human. Somebody better go play that on YouTube. She says, I'm not your superwoman. That I'm trying to do all of this stuff, and I've came to the conclusion, I'm not your superwoman. I need somebody out there to know you don't have an S on your chest. The only person, Superman had one, he's fictional. Jesus, he's our savior. He had an S on his chest. And even Jesus said, you know what? I need to withdraw. Even Jesus said, you know what? I've had enough. I'm tired. I got to deal with this. I need to withdraw. So get the S off your chest. Get the S off your chest. You are not superhuman. And you got to understand the importance and the power of withdrawing, pausing, taking a break, not running yourself to the limit, because you can't be all things to all people. Jump in here, Dr. Douthit. I'm going to get some more of these comments in a minute.
Yeah. You know what? As you were talking about how Jesus withdrew, it made me, his kind of thought came to mind. It's like, yes, Jesus did withdraw, and he didn't ask permission from anybody to do it.
Come on now. Come on.
So having to realize, you don't have to check in with people before you do this. You don't have to get permission. You don't have to get other people's acceptance of the decision that you're making. You can just do it regardless.
Come on.
So just like with the athletes that we've been mentioning all night, a lot of people were not happy with the decision that they made. At the end of the day, that was the decision that was best for them. And having to realize, you know what, you may be looking outside for somebody else's permission to take that time, but they're not you. And they're not going to be impacted by your decision to keep pushing on. And it's having to look at it too. It's like they may also be benefiting from the fact that you do keep pushing yourself.
Yes.
So it's just having to kind of remember, like, you don't need anybody's acceptance. You don't need anybody to say, yes, you can go ahead and do that. Do it. Regardless if other people like it or not. Take your PTO. Take your lunch break. I talk to so many people who work through lunch. Take your work. That's your time for you. Take your lunch break. It can be little small things like that, that we can just start getting into these routines and these bad habits of looking for that outside acceptance or approval that gets us into a place where we're negatively impacting and hurting ourselves.
Yeah. Girl, you better exegete that scripture. That's right. He didn't ask for permission. You are absolutely right. And you are right. They give you that time. You take the time. Take the time. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to achieve? You trying to make a good impression? You want a promotion? You trying to show them that you're grinding?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. God forbid something happened to you. You know what your job going to do? They might send flowers. Maybe. They might take up a collection in the office to send it to whoever. Maybe. They going to come to your viewing. Maybe. They going to say, he was a good man. They going to say, she was a good woman. And before they lower your body in the ground, they're going to be replacing you. Before the service, they're already going to start talking about whatever project she was working on, who can take over the workload. They got somebody in mind who can do the job. But before you get into the ground, before your body float up to heaven or hell, I don't know if you believe in Jesus, you might, I don't know. They go already be looking for your replacement. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes, I'm trying to tell you the truth. So we trying to kill ourselves for somebody or even for an organization. Come on, that's gonna replace you in the Mississippi Minute. So Dr. Daphne, you got to take your time. You got a lunch break, take that. I don't care if you don't eat nothing. You can read a book, go for a walk, breathe. Yeah. Take the time. You need it. You just need a change of scenery. You need it. And I understand the importance of working hard. I get all of that. But once again, the question that I propose to you is at what cost? Because anything that costs you your mental and emotional health is too expensive. And you have to be aware. Self-awareness is so very important. And you got to be self-aware to know what your limit is. You got to draw your line. You got to know what your limit is. And you got to know and understand when too much is enough. Come on, let's get some of these comments. Sister Christine Ball said, I had to put on my own mask first. I know that's right, girl. Are you still on that tread? You still on that elliptical? Come on. Sister Valerie, I am here, bestie. Let's go. Dr. Bestie and Pastor, Dr. Pastor. Hey, Val. Val, we did the mental health check-in at the very beginning. I just want you to know I stole that from you. So I appreciate you every single Monday you do your check-ins. And forgive me for being disobedient because whatever you say I know I always put something different in there because you'll come back and be like, that wasn't even one of the things. I'm sorry, but thank you. I love your passion for mental health. Doc Dre, yes, that's it. Absolutely. Come on. Sister Val said, preach, self-care is the best care. You pick you because nobody else will. That's right. That's right. Come on. Come on. Come on, Sister Lethbridge, I needed to hear this. Yes, mental health is important. You respect that and you encourage that. I love it. Look at Sister Jeanette. Get Sister Jeanette in here. You're human and also need to take care of yourself. Come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Please don't throw your shoe at me. Throw a shoe. You gotta preach mental health. Come on, Mental Health Monday. Come on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all got any questions? We're going to wrap up. We don't want to hold you too long. Any questions that y'all might have? Look, I love it. They did it. That's Jesus' job. We going to get some t-shirts made. That's Jesus' job. Come on. I love it. Y'all following it. That's Jesus' job. Tell them that's right. I can't do that. That's Jesus' job. Y'all better let somebody know. Y'all better tell them. Don't tell y'all boss that tomorrow. Y'all can say it, but don't say it quite like that. You know, that's Jesus' job. Come on. It will literally drain you. It will. Somebody said, Dr. Dre said, even Jesus checked into the Peace Protection Program. That's right, the PPP. Time out. He did. And you know what? I started to say that, but I thought you had that trademark, and so I wasn't going to talk about the Peace Protection Program. But he absolutely did. Yep. What would Jesus do? I love it. Reset is important. It absolutely is. Val said, my daughter is 4. She had 2 mental health days. Yes, she needed it. Absolutely. It is of God. We know Jeanette works in the school system, so she deals with students as well. Talking about the mental health of students is through the roof. Daily struggles for young people for real. Yes. Sister Messner said, I'm so grateful for this. Thank you. Yes. Sister Connie said, suck it up, Buttercup. I hate that. Absolutely. You know what? And this is the way I approach that. That I always say there's always 2 sides to the coin. And there may be sometimes where suck it up, Buttercup it may be appropriate, sometimes, whatever it may be. But there's an aspect of that. You are absolutely right. I'm not trying to suck it up, that I'm really wrestling with something. I'm really dealing with something, and I really need help to deal with what I'm dealing with. And so, absolutely. Yep, John, remove the S. I love it. Sister Janae said, I don't like when they tell me I'm a victim or I'm making up stories when I try to express my emotions and feelings to them. Yes, can you speak to that a little bit, perhaps, Dr. D?
Mm-hmm. I would say that someone's inability to see you whole, authentically, and the emotions that you are experiencing doesn't make them any less valid. That just means that's the wrong person to talk to.
That's good. You hit that real quick.
It's having to remember too, is because we can internalize that interaction as, okay, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't express my feelings. I shouldn't talk to people about what's going on. When in reality, it may be, this isn't the person for me to talk to about this. They may not be in a space to be able to provide a type of response or support that's helpful in this moment. So instead of looking at it as like, well, you know what, this didn't go well, I'm not going to do this again. Okay, this ain't it. I got to find somebody else to talk to. I have to find another avenue to express these feelings because this particular channel didn't work out.
Yes, I like that, because you don't want the enemy to trick you into stop. No, this just was not the person. This was not the place. So I'm gonna keep on progressing and moving forward until I find that safe place and that safe space that will enable me the opportunity to download the cares of my heart. I think that's good. Kevin Jerry says it is not just the person suffering from mental illness, but also the loved ones, family members hurt also. The members need help also. I absolutely agree. Brother Jared, I thought I had to work to keep my mind busy when I lost my father. It was my director that put me on a week PTO and told me, do not log in. I needed so much, decompress and grabs. What happened? Let's talk about that for a minute, because you know what? And I make this joke. And so the joke is, so I remember when Tony Dungy's son died. I think he killed himself. And Tony Dungy, he coached the game, right? He still came. He coached the game. There was somebody else Sunday. They were talking about somebody died, and I think the player, I think it was one of the players' brothers. He says, "Nah, I'm gonna play in this game." He played in the game. It was another instance where somebody else, family member died, father, son. I think Brett Favre. I remember Brett Favre's father died. And Brett Favre, the very next day, said, I'm playing the game. He had like a record-setting day. And I make this joke that it's a joke, but it's amazing how people, depending on what the profession is, right? Because I've never seen like Tyrone or Pookie, who work at the gas station, be like, man, my brother died, but I'm gonna go ahead and into work, man, to make sure I, take care of these customers. You know what I'm saying? It's like when it's something glorious and professional, this, that, and the other, people don't have a problem going, but when it's like a regular job, ain't nobody pushing to do that. But never mind. That's neither here nor there. The thing I want to get to is for these jobs, I think it was somebody who worked for Facebook. They had this policy in place, and then one of the big wigs, her husband died. The policy is you get 3 days, right? She said, there's no way in the world I could process and digest this in 3 days and then come back to work. So from that point on, they extended it to 21. Like, yeah, you need a little time to really deal with this, which I thought was absolutely amazing that happened in that space. But how do you, maybe you could speak to this, how do you deal with that when somebody dies? And so mentally and emotionally, I'm trying to do this, but I only get 3 days because once again, I got to go back in his office. I got to go back in his warehouse. I got to go back on this assembly line. I got to go back in this classroom. And they only allow you so many days. But now I got to teach these kids. I got to get these products together. I still got to do this job. But I'm like toe up on the inside. How do you navigate through that? How do you function? How do you deal with those type of mental and emotional stressors, but knowing that you got this obligation to go back to work, otherwise you're going to lose your job?
Yeah, it's such a hard spot to be in at times because, like you said, you have responsibilities that you have to take care of, and that those things may not always allow you to take all of the time that you truly need. It's sometimes having to find a balance because maybe going to work can be helpful to some people. Some people maybe it's not. So it can look like, okay, well, if I'm going to work, I still want to make sure I'm setting aside time for myself if it's at the end of the day to just process my feelings, things that have kind of come up for me throughout the day. So not kind of getting into this habit of like, well, if I just keep moving, keep doing stuff, like I don't have to ever address these feelings. I don't have to ever think about it as long as I just keep myself busy. So it's still trying to find some type of balance with that of like, okay, if I am going to work, I still need to look at finding some time to process these feelings. What does that look like for me? Does that mean I'm journaling? Does that mean I'm trying to get into some kind of, grief support group? Does it mean that I'm trying to reach out to get in contact with a therapist? Does it mean I'm trying to get FMLA because I just need more time to process it? But really just having to look at, what is it that I need? How can I try to really set aside some time for myself to deal with what I'm going through?
I think that's so very important. That is so very valid because you do. And you said sometimes it is helpful. And the joke earlier, I think in those particular professions and instances, it is helpful. I'm going to coach. I'm going to play. I'm playing for a higher purpose versus, other things. But even in that, you still have to take the time. You don't want to get hooked on the drug of busyness because people cope in different ways. Some people use drugs, some people use alcohol, some people use busy. That's their drug of choice. If I just stay busy, I won't deal with it. So I just suppress it down because I'm too busy doing everything. So you still want to make sure that you have the time to deal with whatever you're going through. Erica also says, I now take 1 or 2 days a month, either during the day or the week long, where I do whatever I want. Absolutely. You got it. And that's what you're supposed to do. I think that is so very important. Well, look, we don't want to hold you, but we do want to give you the opportunity to ask questions. Ask questions, Dr. Douthit. I think she charges like $1,000 an hour, so y'all can get some free information. Y'all get some free information right now if y'all get an opportunity. Yeah, we do this thing called therapy and theology. We tackle various topics. She comes from the therapeutic lens, and I come from a theological lens, and we merge the two together because we understand the importance of dealing with our mental and emotional health. And for so many people, especially in the church, we'll just say, oh, just pray it away. Oh, you just need to pray. Oh, you just need to have faith. And yeah, you do need to have the faith, but you also need to have some fundamentals. You do need to pray, but you also might need a prescription too. And so, yeah, we believe in the Messiah. We believe in medicine. We believe in therapy, and we believe in theology. And so it's a wonderful world of the two coming together to really tackle the issues that you may be facing. And so, what questions do you have? What questions do you have? And for the people, I know some people said they were at a 4, they were at a 5. They need to reach out. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go to cohnd.org. There is a button that says you need a one-on-one meeting with pastor. I need you to fill that out. And we understand the dynamic of this too. There are some things that you may be able to talk out with a friend, and that is absolutely wonderful. There are some things where you may need to talk to a coach, right? That's wonderful. There's some things you may need to talk to a pastor. That's wonderful. But it comes to a point in time that if you need something stronger, you need to go to another level. There are some things that you may definitely need to go to a therapist and have them help you to navigate through some of the things that you are experiencing. And so we understand the levels, the importance of whatever it is you may be dealing with. And our main focus and objective is to help get you the help and the assistance that you need. So on my 4 and 5s, if you go to cohnd.org and click on that button, cohnd.org, it is, I think it says a one-on-one meeting with the pastor or something like that. Just fill that out. Let us assess where you are and what you may need to do so that we can get you plugged in and connected to the right place. And so please do that. We don't want to leave you out there without any type of help or assistance. We want to be able to help you to navigate through whatever it is you're going through and experiencing. We do want to take some questions. If you have any questions, please let us know. This is the time to ask. You got to have the works to go along with the faith. You are absolutely right. The Bible says faith without works is dead. When you pray, you need to pray. But after you pray, you need to mix some actions with that faith. And so you want to make sure you are taking the proper steps. Come on. Questions. We're here for your questions. And y'all do me a favor. If this was helpful, drop me a 5 in the chat. 5 is like giving me a high five, giving Dr. Douthit a high five. If this was helpful, drop a 5 in the chat. We're also going to wait to solicit some of your questions if you have them. They can be questions on anything, mental health, emotional health, whatever the case may be. But if this was helpful, drop a 5 in the chat. I feel the preaching coming in my spirit. Drop a 5 in the chat. Come on, we love it. All right, we got a 5 from Michelle. We got a 5 from John. We got a 5 from Valerie. Of course, that's your bestie. She gonna always give us a 5. 5 from Sister Connie. 5 from Chrisney, who's been on the, girl, you've been on that elliptical for an hour and a half. 5 from Dr. Dre. I love it. 5. Come on. All these 5s. All these 5s. All these 5s. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. She gave us 2 5s. I love it. 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 I think we did have a question that slipped through. Not a question, but a comment. Keeping you all lifted. Sending you love and light. This is only a moment. Yea, though we walk through the valley. Girl, you better preach in here. Not making your home in it. Walk through the valley. Don't make your home in it. I love it. And I love the prayers that you post daily, Christy. That is a blessing. We got 5s coming through. We got 5s coming through. Any questions? This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity. So ask questions. This is a wonderful opportunity. I told you, Ashton, she charges $1,000 an hour. So this is your chance.
I'm not that bad.
Any questions? No shade, no shame. No shade, no shame. It was on the stand, Master. Yes. Amen, amen, amen. We appreciate y'all. Look, this is so very important. We know that we started out dealing with the athletes, but we knew that the information would be applicable to each and every one of you. It is so very important for us to build that bridge and to draw that bridge so that you can begin to see and understand the importance of stepping away. The main thought, y'all, these athletes, they stepped away. They understood, even though I'm making millions of dollars even though I'm engaged in this sport and I got this platform right now, it's costing me too much. And I think you really need to realize and understand when something is too expensive. Anything that chips away at your mental and emotional health is too expensive. That if you feel as if something is off, if you know something is off, come on, it's okay. You got three choices, I told you. You can ignore it, you can deal with it on your own, or you can reach out and get you some help. It is so very important, y'all, that you reach out and get some help because what you're dealing with can be severe. Dr. Douthit, information if they want to get a hold of you or reach out to you, what would that information be?
Yes.
If you tell me, I'll put it on the screen.
So if you're looking for me on social media, I am at We Need to Talk Therapy. It's probably the quickest way to get a hold of me.
Okay. We Need to Talk Therapy, social media?
Yes.
Okay. Get somebody to work this back in one day. That's it. I thought I did it. Ashlyn Douthit.
Yep, there we go.
Did I spell your last name wrong? Social media. We Need to Talk Therapy. All right. So that's how you can get a hold of Ashlyn Douthit. It's such a joy to do this with her. Yeah, she was one of my youth in youth ministry. I was her youth pastor. She was 12, 13, and 14 years old and 15 years old and all of that stuff coming. Now she's in high school and college and master's program. Now she's going to be a doctor here shortly. And I've always told her it's just always been an honor and a privilege to see her grow, to see her evolve, to see her develop, and to come into the gift that she has to really minister and to help people in this particular area. I'm super duper excited. Yeah, please hit her up, inbox her, let her know you can get a hold of her. Thankful and privileged. Look at your best friend. Come there. We need to talk there. Follow her on. Look at her doing your PR work. We need to talk there.
And then if for some reason, if you all can't get in contact with me, if you reach out to Pastor, I'm sure he'll pass that information along as well. So absolutely. And look at Jeanette coming with the Players Club thing. Make the money, Ebony. Don't let it make you. We see you. I see you coming with it. I see you coming. Well, look, y'all don't have any questions. We love y'all with the love of the Lord. We are grateful and thankful for this wonderful opportunity to be able to minister and to help y'all out in the midst of this season. We hope this has been a blessing to you. Y'all, this is not the last time. We're going to be doing more things throughout the month of November and December as we are approaching the holidays. So we're going to do some grief sessions, and we're going to do some other things to help you navigate through. If y'all need a one-on-one, please hit us up. We Need to Talk Therapy. Hit up Dr. Douthit. She can get you in. Hit me up. WCOHND.org. One-on-one with the pastor. We want to plug you in the right place so that you can get the help that you need. It is so very important. I told you, you got one of three choices. You can ignore it. You can do it yourself. You can reach out and you can get some help. Do not forget that if Jesus withdrew, so can you. Practice the power and the importance of stepping away. So, y'all, we're going to end this. I do want y'all to check out this groove. It is a blessing. It's going to bless you. The little intro song, y'all. I absolutely love it. It was a blessing. Check this out. We love y'all with the love of the Lord, and we are out.
Yeah, and I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ay, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Ay, and I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ay, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah. On this break, I've been breaking down, I'm elaborating. I guess my heart and soul collaborating. It's agitating, we battle demons, we co-created. Since the day old mama procreated. How appropriated, they misappropriated. I was so dissociated till I met you, and I sensed it's something special at the age of 13. Twisted dreams, all my nightmares always playing with me. Deprived nights, I would function until I was asleep. Cause my passion needed action and I'm running on E. As it seems, I've been grinding OD. My teeth grinding OD, I'm hungry. Rumble tummy got me moving funny. My gloomy days is sunny. My focus is happiness now, it's not the money. Blessings overlap, demons take them from me. Rap gang, I'm still rapping, that's brotherhood. Limitless, push the limits, misunderstood. And all my cousins disappointed in me. I let them down and pick me up, I love the struggle in me. And shout out to the people that been checking on me. Therapeutic measures, Joel joined the session on me. Yeah, I wrote this project, yes, in less than a week. I mixed the songs while I cried as I listened to beats. Yeah, she recommended therapy, I agreed. My wins and losses, therapy is unique, and this is mine, ayy. So I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ayy, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, and I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Ayy, I'm calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Calling out of work, I need a mental health day. Yeah, I ain't coming in, I need a mental health day. Calling out of work, I need a mental health day. I need a mental health day.